I seem to always forget to do that. So wanted to host a Team Power Hour yesterday and then got home from BC very late the night before. And I'm doing this thing where I'm like starting to feel better. So I'm trying to go gung ho and then realizing that I'm not actually totally 100%. So then I'm reining myself in. So opted on an early bedtime last night. So tonight we have our call. Thanks for being understanding. And it's funny because I wanted to talk about something that's been really, it's been recurring for me as a theme in the last couple of months, and finally it kind of hit me in the face, and I'll share with you guys because I feel like the stuff that I go through is oftentimes parallel to what you're going through in your lives, so hopefully it'll help and then we can kind of talk about it. So this morning Carly and I were kind of talking about how when you have a lot of time in the summertime, for example, or if you decide to work Beachbody full time, etc., you take more time and then you feel like you're not getting the stuff that you want to get done because you're like, well, I got all day. And then you end up just being on your phone all day and you're not really setting boundaries with people or your notifications or yourself. And then you end up just working all the time. And you're like, well, this isn't the point of freeing myself, right? The point is to work so that I can live. So in the last couple of months, I have been borderline obsessive, I guess, and not really setting proper work hours. And I get really good at it, and then I get really bad at it throughout the seasons. And I just go through these different seasons of time where I like kind of try to balance, just like all things in life, right? Where you're like, okay, my relationship is rock solid, and maybe I'm slacking on work a little bit, or work is rock solid, and then maybe my health and fitness is slacking a little bit, and then maybe sometimes you like get that balance, and then it just kind of like goes like this. So I was doing that in that I was not doing household chores as often as I could have been. I was neglecting Brandon. I wasn't showing up as confidently in my relationship as I was online or with you guys or, you know, clients and that kind of thing. And so my relationship kind of got thrown off a little bit. And when I had my concussion, it was like this huge reality check for me. And Brandon and I got into this big conversation, this big, deep conversation about like our future and all these things. And he was just like, dude, you show up so confidently for everybody else. What about me? And what about you? You know, when you get off your calls and when you get offline and stuff, and then you have days of anxiousness or depressiveness or need me to lift you up, like it's not fair. And I was just like, oh shit, like I didn't even realize I was doing this. So the point that I'm getting to in this whole thing, it's therapy for me, not just joking. The point that I'm getting to with this whole thing is that Carly and I kind of had a little conversation this morning about how when you have a lot of time to do all your tasks, you take all the time. Right? If you have 3 hours to do a project, you will take the full 3 hours. Just like if you have a month, you guys remember in school when you had a month to do a project, you'd take until day 30 to do it the night before the project was due. But if you only have 15 minutes in the morning to send out messages, you bet your ass you're going to send those messages in those 15 minutes because you know that's all you have. And that's what I used to do when I was teaching. And then sometimes I forget because I'm doing this full time, I forget, oh yeah, I used to be able to do the same tasks, less people maybe that I was talking to, but I used to be able to do the same tasks in a lot less time. So what I wanted to talk about tonight is setting proper business hours for yourself, tracking, simplification, because I feel like every single one of us, probably I could speak for all of us on this call, overcomplicate the shit out of this business. Is that fair to say? Ish? Yeah, everybody's like, yep. So I wanted to just basically talk for a second about how I personally am simplifying, how I personally am setting boundaries for myself and my business, how I personally am setting business hours, and then from that, take whatever kind of stands out to you and apply it to your situation if it helps. That's kind of where I want to go with it. I had my success partner tell me that Beachbody isn't my life. It allows me to live my life. Yeah, and so the thing about coaching is like, we're so passionate about it, right? We're so gung-ho about it. Like I understand that my job as a Beachbody coach isn't my life, but it's so wrapped up in my life that I need to develop the skills necessary to separate myself a little bit from it daily and like be okay with unplugging, you know, and be okay with not taking a picture of my food and be okay with not answering my text messages or messages as soon as they come in if I know somebody's going to sign up, because that happens. You're like, oh my God, they're going to sign up. You know, and then it's like mid-communion at church or something and your mom's like, what are you doing? I'm just joking. That's never happened. But anyways, how I'm kind of simplifying, how I'm setting boundaries for myself. First of all, I got myself a new journal. So that's probably step number one. I find that always helps me if I have a clean slate. I transferred over my old journal. Like I have lists of people that I'm messaging and following up with and stuff. So that's fine. That's in the new journal, but I started a new journal. The first thing I did was I wrote on the very first page, my vision for my life. And I wrote myself out 6 really powerful affirmations that every single time I open this journal, I read to myself. Doesn't matter if I read them quickly. It doesn't matter if I take a minute. I read them really quickly to myself so that I can remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think that's a really key point to make, is because a lot of the times when we're doing the ins and outs of daily coach work, you're like putting up a post or sending invites, or somebody gives you an objection, and all of a sudden you're kind of like, this doesn't really feel like it's working. Like, why am I doing this? This reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing. It reminds me who I want to become, what my aspirations are, what my big goals for my life are, right? Financially, personally, spiritually, all these things. I just write them down. My vision for my life is on my first page. And then I have my focus and priorities on the next page for July, August, and September. Something that I do for myself is I project myself way too far into the future. And I do this thing where I'm like, oh, by January, I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z. Well, I've got July, August, and September to focus on and do very well at before I can even think about October, November, December, and then January, right? So I try to think in 3-month chunks, and I did this for myself. I wrote my focus / priorities, July, August, September, and I put 7 priorities for each. That's it. I'm not allowing myself any more. So for each of the months, you can see July, August, September, I get 7 priorities. So just as an example of my July priorities, here's a couple of them, okay? I wanted to hide the shop page, the Boomerang shop page. I wanted to pause it on Shopify because it was causing me stress, because I'm paying monthly for this account and I want to do some Boomerang tank tops and stuff, but it was just like this extra open tab in my brain. So I paused it for $15 a month instead of $40. Great. So I paused it. That's one thing I did. Go to Protecting with my family and unplug. I did that. Help 15 new clients / coaches get set up with Girls That Lift. I'm on my way to doing that. Only 3 so far, but that's okay. That's 3 out of 50, right? Crush Lift 4 with Brandon. Set and stick to work hours. Isn't that funny? Currently doing that. Okay, so those are some of my priorities for July. So when I look at it, I'm like, okay, these are the things I'm prioritizing for this month. These are the things I'm prioritizing for this month. Does that make sense? Just give me a little naughty. Okay, cool. The next thing that I did, and this is going to be where the key comes in, because this is going to be the thing that helps you stick to what you're doing every single day, and that will lead you to your weekly goals, which will lead you to your monthly goals, which will lead you to your quarterly, and then your annual. I wrote on one page, daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks. And I really brainstormed, okay, what are my daily tasks that if everything else wasn't done, what are the 4 things that I could do daily that would render everything else useless, and those would propel my business forward. And I decided that 5 things. I decided the 5 things that I can do daily. I can post my journey, 1 or 2, definitely 1. Just I'm finding a time of the day that my people are going to be online, right? Like an 8 a.m. or a noon or 8 p.m. Finding I'm doing 1 storytelling post during the day. I'm posting on my Instagram stories, sharing whatever's going on in my life that day. I'm connecting with at the very least, for me personally, 10 new people every single day. So if that's I'm following them and commenting on their stuff on Instagram, you can have 3 new people a day. Whatever your goal is, connect with new people every single day. Okay? So I'm posting my journey, I'm posting Instagram stories, I'm connecting with new people every day, at the very minimum 3 to 5 new people a day. I'm clearing my inboxes, meaning I'm answering all my messages and not letting ones carry over to the next days. And I'm checking in on my people, on my groups. Those are the 5 things that if I did those 5 things every single day, right? And within that connecting with new people, those conversations, you guys understand, are invites as well, right? Because conversations lead to invites. So the connecting with new people, inviting is in there. But I figure if I do those 5 things every single day, if I post with value, share my Instagram stories, connect with new people every single day and have conversations that are inviting them in, clear my inboxes and check on my groups and my people, my business will do this. Because that's all that matters. And then obviously, I do my workout and drink my shake and read PD, but that's ingrained now, right? That's the fun part. That's for me in the mornings. Because then weekly, I can do other things. Like weekly, 1 time a week, we can have a team call. 1 time a week, I can go live on Facebook or Instagram, right? 1 time a week, I can do an hour-long brainstorm for post ideas for the upcoming week so that I don't feel as scattered and feel like I'm making everything on the spot. 1 time a week, I can write down the people who are liking my Instagram posts and watching my stories so that when I go to add and talk to those new people during the week, I already have a little list. And I decided for myself personally, you know what? On Mondays, I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to go through whoever watched my story in the archive on my Instagram. I'm going to go through who watched my stories for the last few days. And I'm just going to make a list of like 50 to 100 people that watch my stories consistently the last few days. And those are the people I'm going to talk to this week. Those are the people that I'm going to go to their profiles. I'm going to comment on their stuff. I'm going to like a couple of their photos, and I'm going to find a reason to send some value to their Instagram messenger box. And that's how I'm going to do it, because that is so simple to me. And that takes all the guesswork out of who do I talk to? Where do I find these people? Right? I'll still be using hashtags and such with my posts, but I feel like if people are already watching my stuff, it means that they're enjoying what I'm putting out there, which means they're probably going to like what we have to offer with our groups and coaching opportunity. You guys with me so far? Or am I getting squirrely on you? Okay, and then finally I have monthly tasks. Everybody's monthly tasks will be slightly different, obviously, depending on preference, right? But for example, my monthly tasks, every month I make a new coach calendar and go live in the coach page. I do that on the last day of the month for the next month. Every month I schedule my challenge group posts. Every month I make a little marketing schedule for myself. When am I hosting my group? When am I hosting a sneak peek? Am I doing, like a little marketing schedule? Every month I create my own workout calendar. And every month I try to be active in pods with our coaches, right? Like different little success pods. I know we've got one for our diamond leaders. We have one for our emerald and above leaders on the team. I try to be active in that. Something I'd really like to do is start to offer once or twice a month one-on-one Zoom calls. I'm just going to open up one day every 3 weeks or whatever for coaches to jump on one-on-one Zoom calls with me to talk about stuff that's going on in their business and if they need help. So that's kind of what I did. I broke down daily tasks, weekly tasks, and monthly tasks. And the last thing that I did that you can choose to do or not to do, but I think that this is the most important, I made myself an awesome work schedule. Because this is my problem. I will wake up and I will spend 2 hours doing my PD and my meditation and my journaling and my coffee, and I'll get outside. And then I'll come inside and then I'll like put up a post. And then I'll be like, I should work out, but I'm kind of hungry. So then I'll eat breakfast. And then I will go back on, and then I find myself scrolling for like 10 minutes on Instagram. And then all of a sudden it's like noon and I haven't worked out and I haven't eaten anything. And I'm like, oh God, it's already noon. I should probably do something. So then I work out and then I already haven't eaten. So by the time I eat, it's like whatever, 1:30, and I'm starved and hypoglycemic. So that's not a good combination. And then I'm just like scattered, and my creative hours that are the morning, I'm so good in the morning when I'm on, they're gone. So it's 1:30, and then I'm like, well, shit, I want to go hang by the pool. It's 1:30 and it's 30 degrees out. And it's July, And then all of a sudden, the thought of reaching out to new people and answering messages and doing all this stuff is not as appealing to me as going to hang up on my parents' pool. So something that I need to do for myself, because I am so much more effective when I win my mornings, is I need to work out by 8 a.m. every day. I know that when I wake up by 6, I do my morning routine and I work out by 8 a.m., that I can get the rest of my stuff done by like 1 p.m. and then I'm golden. That's just me personally. Yours might be totally different, but you got to find for you whatever the time of your day is, that if you do your workout by that time, everything else is awesome, right? If you're Aaron's mama, right? Linda's busy with the business. Carly's at the lake. People are probably buzzing around at certain hours. Morgs, I'm sorry, I don't know what your plans are during the day, but has a job, works at another job, right? Everybody's got different schedules, so you got to find for you. When I was teaching, the thing that worked for me was getting up at like 5 a.m. just so I could get my 20 minutes of PD, my 30-minute 21-day fix workout back in the day, a little shower, and send out my 5 new invitations every single morning. I made myself send out those 5 new messages every single morning because I knew that people wouldn't be awake when I was sending them, so they couldn't message me back as soon as I sent them. And that was my thing. I was like, if I send these 5 out in the morning, at the very least, I can do nothing else today, and at least I sent them out. So I'd send out 25 new messages a week, right? Monday to Friday. And then I'd have all those people messaging me back. And then all those people could be potential follow-ups, or that I would work with them. Does that all make sense? Okay. I'm going to shut up right away, but hoping that this helps a little bit. So I'm just going to give you guys an example of my ideas. Take it or leave it. I don't personally work on Sundays. I suggest taking a day of the week off. It doesn't have to be Sundays. Just take a day of the week off. Sometimes for me, it's Fridays and Sundays. But honestly, just take one day where you're like not working, you're not inviting, you're not working, right? Because it's important to unplug and recharge. We do it to our phones every single night. I don't know why we don't do it enough to ourselves. Okay. I decided for myself that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, this is just me personally, again, your numbers are going to be totally different. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I invite and talk to 20 new people those 3 days, then on Fridays I can do my follow-ups, and on Mondays I can make my list of people to talk to. Does that make sense? So maybe your number is 3 people. On Monday, if you make your list of people to talk to, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can talk to 3 people, right? But we all know that everybody that's on this call is doing more than just talking to 3 people. So make your baseline like 5 or 10 at least, right? Because the more people you talk to, the more likely you are to see success and help more people. And that's how that works. It's all a numbers game. If I do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if I talk to those X amount of people and I have my follow-ups on Friday and I make my list on Mondays, that means on Saturday I can do all those miscellaneous tasks that I said that are monthly, like scheduling challenge year posts, doing live videos, doing training stuff, learning myself, right? And then Sundays I can take off. And for me, that's going to be the thing that helps me simplify and stay on track. Yours might be a little bit different. Carly says, don't know how anyone else feels about this, but for those of you who get your stuff done in the morning, would you ladies be cool with starting a group to just say done when we do our invites and morning routine? That's awesome. And that's called accountability. And I like it. I really like that. I think that's a great idea, Carls. We can even like do a thread. We can do a thread either in the coach page or just do a pod. Pod would be good too, I guess, because that's easy to check. But yeah, so those are some of the ways that I'm simplifying and setting boundaries for myself. I have on here little reminders for myself, like structure sets you free, right? The more structured and disciplined you are, the more free you actually are, because when you're off work, you're actually off work, and you're not just being like, oh my God, I should have done that. I should have said that. How could I respond to that? What should I put up on a post, right? When you're not working, you're actually not working. You're actually chilled out, right? I think that's it. And then setting a timer during work hours. And if you are down with it, doing blocks of work is really effective. And there's study after study after study that shows that like a 45-minute block with like a 15-minute break and then a 45-minute block and a 15-minute break is super helpful. So anyways, I just talked a whole bunch. Does anybody have any ideas to add to this, any ideas that are different from this? Erin's laughing at me. I have a feeling she has something. I'm going to unmute you.
No, I don't.
Sucker. I didn't mute you. Okay, fine. I'll mute you back. Okay, if anybody has any ideas that they want to add to this, Carl's is laughing too. Do you guys, is this relating to you? Do you feel this sometimes? Yes? Okay, that's helpful. That's good. I just feel like it's so easy for us to overcomplicate this business, and it's so easy to want to do all this fluffy stuff. You know, even like right now, I'm like, oh, I should do my whole website. That just got weird for you guys too, didn't it? Okay. I have this thing where I'm like, I should redo my website. That's a really good idea. That's a really great use of my time. My website is fine. Can you hear me? Yeah, my website is fine. Oh, you guys can't hear me. Oh, you can. Oh, this is very confusing. Okay. Anyways, my website is fine. It doesn't need shit. What I need to do is send invites out and talk to new people, because I haven't done that in a little while, right? So I have to like gut check myself. Yeah, it's been a bit for me. And granted, I've been heavily concussed, but still haven't done my stuff. Oh, I see, Kaylee. Sorry. Anyways, now that there's not that, oh, you do have something to say. Okay, good. There you go. Oh.
Can you hear me? I have headphones. This is why it's being weird, I think.
Yes.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was just gonna like say something related to what we were saying, but like my experience, like setting boundaries has been huge for me to do lately, you guys. Like not responding to messages right away when people are flooding your inbox. Setting those boundaries, like, okay, these are my work hours where I'm going to respond to people. And even if, like she said, people are being like, I'm ready to sign up, like putting that wall up and like using, like maintaining your energy and not giving it up to everyone every day, because it totally drains you. And that's what I dealt with for the past like couple months, and setting those like clear boundaries. People know that I don't reply right away, and that's like good, because I like put that out there that like I'll respond to you within 24 hours kind of thing. So even with like new people or just clients that you have already or your own coaches, it's huge to do that. So yeah,
that's huge. And I just finished reading a book. It's called The E-Myth, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work. It's an oldie but a goodie. Linda knows it. Michael Gerber's the author. Anyways, super, super awesome book. And what he talks about in the book is he talks about how franchising businesses is the smartest thing. So if you think about like McDonald's, or you think about FedEx, or any of those huge companies, those are essentially small businesses that franchise themselves, right? And Beachbody's done the exact same thing. Very, very smart. As I was reading this book, I was just like, oh my God, this is so smart. We do this. This is what our coaching opportunity is. Beachbody's done the exact same thing, where they've franchised the coaching opportunity, where it's like, hit Success Club. Here's some tools to get up and running. Here's your first 30 form, right? This is how to run a challenge group. Here's some tools for social media. Here's a call every Monday to keep on track with coach stories, right? They have this thing where it's like, you can take this package, insert your own personality into it, and then you have a business if you choose to. So I was reading this book and I was just really inspired by all of it. And one of the things he talks about is he talks about how when you can systematize your business as much as possible, meaning scheduling challenge group posts and creating content so that you have some content for that upcoming week. You have a few posts in your back pocket that you can use on a busy day, right? That kind of stuff. Having like a Google form, for example, for coaches who want to join your team, that's helped me immensely. Having business hours, like Haley just talked about. When I answer messages, I answer all my messages in the same hour of the day. And then if it's a period where I'm like trying to sign people up and getting people going and it's on a deadline, I'll check it once more in the day, but that's it, like she said. And then not till the next morning when it comes around, and then I'll clear my inbox again, and then not till the next day, right? So that just helps me stay sane, because I used to have my notifications going off all the time, and it takes you 15 minutes to get back to the task that you were doing when this thing dings or buzzes, or you see that and you're just like, oh, I wonder what they said. As if what they said could be so much more important than whatever you're doing in that moment, right? It takes you 15 minutes. So I blows my mind. My mom has this like the loudest ding. It's like ding, ding per text message. And it drives me nuts because I'm so distracted by it. But anyways, this has totally just turned into a Marie talking power hour. But does anybody have anything else to contribute to that? Like, this obviously relates to most of us, right? Because we overcomplicate and then we take more time than we need. But I remember when I first started coaching, like I only had 45 minutes in the day to do it. And it wasn't 45 minutes in the same sitting, right? And there's lots to learn and there's so many fun things that we want to do. But honestly, if you put up one good post a day, a few Instagram stories, right? / Facebook stories, whatever your jam is, and you talk to at least 5 new people and have like genuine conversations that lead to eventually, or not, but most likely lead to you inviting them to coach or to join your group. That's how you build a business with Beachbody. And then hosting a group, obviously. You want to host a group because you got to have somewhere to invite people to. But it's so simple. We just seem to overcomplicate it. And it's so funny because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You just forget. You forget and you pile on all this stuff and then you have to almost like strip it away to remember, oh yeah, it is so simple. I can take all this fluff and make it fun again. Cool beans? Cool beans. Okay, on that note, how's everybody's July? Pretty awesome. Okay, tell me if you want me to unmute you, and you can unmute yourself because I feel like I have the power. I can unmute you if you want. Everybody's like, nah, I don't want to. Morgs, I'm unmuting you. Oh, no, I can't. I thought I had the power, but you have to do it yourself.
Should I unmute myself?
Yeah!
Okay. So I feel like this summer is disappearing really quickly, but I wanted to make sure that I got done my 80-day obsession, and I've got this one more 10K run going on. So I'm excited for the lift 4, but I feel like I'm kind of all over the place right now. So it's good that this is kind of like I jotted down to make a schedule and make sure that I'm unplugging, and just I think I need to put more structure into my day, because being a teacher, my whole year is so structured, and then I get to the summer and it's just a free-for-all. Mm-hmm. And I'm just finding that, yeah, I'm kind of being a bit of a gypsy right now, and I think I'm craving some of that structure back. So,
well, isn't that amazing? And
but I'm looking forward to on Monday.
Congratulations on being done 80-day obsession. Tomorrow is your
tomorrow, yeah.
So awesome. God, I am excited for you. That's a really cool feeling.
Yes, I've never actually finished a full program.
And 80 days is the first one you're finishing, just like psycho.
normally I jump ship and I do something different, and then I go back to it and I start again. But yeah, I wanted to know what it felt like to finish, so I'm excited.
I'm really excited for you. Good for you, buddy. And showing up for your people and showing them that you can finish it all through like busy season and stuff. Because I remember you were doing it with like report card season and end of school year and stuff. So that's
and that's the first time that my anxiety and stress and just emotions were not all over the place. Like it was still stressful. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt way more myself right through till the end of the year than having those huge crashes and like anxiety attacks. So it was good.
That's super awesome. Those endorphins will do it for you. And it's a purpose too, right?
Yeah.
That was another thing that I read in the book that I thought was so cool. He was talking about how people throughout the ages, like even back when like these ancient philosophers and stuff were around, they would talk about what's the meaning of life and what's the purpose of life and what's the meaning of life. And it's like all these years later, everybody still talks about it as though it's this new concept, right? But it's because people throughout the ages still turn to stuff, right? They turn to stuff. And I just put a post up about this too. So it's funny that this keeps coming up for me in the last little while. But they turn to stuff for validation, right? Cars and jobs and relationships and clothing and toys and all this just things that we can hold on to, and okay, maybe this will be who I am. Maybe this is who I am. Maybe this is who I'm supposed to be. And then at the root of it all is no, your sense of meaning or purpose is just anything that you give value to. So if you're going to give value to coaching, for example, you're going to find a badass sense of meaning and purpose behind that, right? I could probably say that everybody on this call, because there's 6 of us and I know every single one of you individually, everybody on this call right now, and probably the people who listen to the recording as well, you have found a sense of purpose with coaching that has made you show up at 8:00 on a Tuesday night in July when you probably could have been doing anything else with your family, right? That sense of purpose and that sense of meaning, and also that sense of community that we have with Boomerang, it is priceless. That is irreplaceable. And that he just kept talking about that in the book, how you can create this incredible community with the work that you do and all this stuff. And I was like, damn, this is what we're doing. This is so cool to be validated. Not that we need to be, but it's so cool to be validated by this guy who has helped thousands of small business owners crush it. We're doing this. We're doing these things naturally and organically. How cool is that Boomerang is doing this thing? And I even spoke to a woman too who was like, so you've done a really good job of branding yourself. Like, what is Boomerang? She's like, what is it that you do? You're not a Beachbody coach, are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm a Beachbody coach, like full time. It's helped me retire. It's the best shit ever. She was like, oh my God, you would never know from looking. Like whenever you see all your posts and your people who work with you's posts, it doesn't seem like that. I'm like, that's because we have done it right. Beachbody is the vehicle with which we ride, but you infuse your personal branding, you infuse yourself into it. And that's the biggest thing, because people see that and they're just like, oh, if that girl can do it, so can I. So anyways, I just went on a huge ass tangent there, but pumped for you, Erin. I just miss you guys. I got so excited. I feel kind of normal. It's nice. But anybody else? Anybody else got some stuff going on? Marks.
I did a thing today.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I've been pretty miserable at my job.
Okay.
Don't know why, just big stress ball anxiety like crazy. Yeah. And my boss has been noticing, and she pulled me aside today, and I put my 2 weeks in.
Holy shit, girl. Good for you.
Just like happened, but I feel so much better. Like this big heavy thing is just gone.
Good for you, buddy. Man, I remember that jump. I remember that jump from one rock. I had both feet on 2 rocks when I was teaching. And I was, I could jump, and financially it would be a little scary. Or I could just stay on both because it's safe, and I could have anxiety attacks every single week, and I could just have the energy sucked from me and not show up fully on this other rock. Beachbody is this other rock, right? And then I jumped, and it was really scary for a little time, and I just can't even imagine another decision at this point. I jumped, and I've never looked back, and I'm so excited for you to have done that and to have listened to your soul's calling and intuition and done that for yourself. That's a really big freaking deal. Good for you. Carly did the same thing like a month or 2 ago. Carly, how's that working out for you? Living at the lake all summer. Not bad. That's huge, Morgan. Good for you. That's a really big deal. And man, I just think that that's so cool because we get to show people that like this doesn't have to be a full-time thing. We have so many people on our team who are super down to work casual as a nurse or part-time at the job that they love. But the key there is like part-time and not 80-hour weeks, right? We have a lot of people. And like a lot of people don't want to give up their careers. And that's beautiful too. Keep the career that you love so long as you love it, right? But that's what this whole thing is about. It's like finding yourself, finding your place in it, and figuring out how you can use coaching to your advantage to do for your life what you want to happen. Yeah. Cool. Good for you. That's a really big deal. You should celebrate it.
Congratulations. And I was actually going to make a post tonight about that, about being at the lake and not having to be at home and whatnot. So that's so funny. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Carls, you still should, I think.
Also, you guys still...
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to. Took a perfect picture to post with it.
Oh, nice.
But are you guys still inviting to Lift 4?
Yeah.
I know that's not what this call is about, but...
Yeah. I'm not starting it until next week. I know Erin's not starting it until next week. I'm doing before Lift 4 workouts this week, / PNX tomorrow. So, and I even journaled about this when I was gone. I was just like, I really dropped the ball on the July 16th start date. Obviously life stuff happens and then that you can't really help that. But with BOD being available to people like within the 24 hours that they purchase their pack, it's really not a huge deal if they start Shakeology a week late, right? It's not a huge deal if they start the performance line a week late or get the bands a week late. All the tools and stuff that they really need, the workouts and the nutrition information and everything is all online when they purchase it. And so long as they have the group and they're ready to go, I feel like that's okay. And now too, like the containers don't come with Lift because I think they're assuming that most people have the containers already and don't want another set. So yeah, I'm definitely still inviting. I got my goal of Success Club 50 up on this board and I'm at 6. So got some work to do, girls. Got some work to do. But yes, to answer your question, absolutely. And I'm going to do too, I'll just open it up for you guys as well if you want to, just because it helps when we all do stuff together. I'll be opening up another round of 2B in the Girls That Eat group, and I'll be posting in the Girls That Eat group sometime starting in August for another month or two, just so we can have another like wave of people basically jump in. Especially I find every year September seems like a kind of a funny time for people. I get a lot of objections around time and money in September because people have spent money throughout the summer. They're going back to school, they're going back to work, and they're just like, I don't want to do a workout program. For some reason in their minds, they're like, nah, I'm too busy already. Like, I don't want to hear that. But I feel like the food thing, if I could we could introduce 2B mindset to people in August again, that's everybody has to eat, right? So that's a really good way, I think, to transition. And then when we have Lift coming out in October on BOD, we've got the new shift shop round coming out in October, I think 29th or something like that. So that'll be a nice segue for people to like start in September, focus on their nutrition, get the water bottle, get the journal, you know what I mean? Like do 2B mindset August, September, and then crush Lift 4 again October, November. So I think it'll be a cool, I'm going to kind of fashion my business after like Lift 2B is kind of what I'm going to do for the next little while here. So nice, Linda. My retirement plan. I dig that. Just sneaks that comment in casually. That's super sweet too. And I'm going to show Lindo because we got back from Summit and I checked my downline I've been checking it every week because we're in 5-star qualification, holla, and that shit is scary. You got to check it every day for 6 weeks. But Linda's been crushing it and has like 5 coaches under her already. Like, you are a maniac.
Wow.
2 more too? Oh man. You weren't joking when you said you're going diamond. Pumped for you. That's super awesome. And Erin's halfway to emerald, and Morgan quit her job, and Carly quit her job, and Kaylee's crushing it. Like, oh my God, you guys, there's a lot of stuff. Anyways, if there's nothing else, we can all probably go off and do our own thing after the call. We only have about 5 minutes left, but if anybody has anything left that they'd like to say, go for it. Jump on in. No? Yes? Oh, Carly does? Yes. Give her a second. How come I can't unmute people now? Oh, good.
I got it. You gotta give me a second. I gotta find it. But there was this awesome app that this lovely lady shared with me to keep. Oh, there it is.
Contact.
It's called Streaks. Yeah. And she like set up. I don't know if you can see that. So like she made times for like connecting with people. Her miracle morning.
Cool.
Checking, adding into her network, and inviting people. And then you can like, yeah, and then you can like track your progress through that and like set times and stuff through that.
Is it $7?
Yeah, she said you had to pay for it,
Okay.
but she says it's absolutely epic. So.
Okay, this one's, oh, that's cool. It's got like a done, like, I can't, words are hard right now. It's got circles of how much you finished and completed. Wow, Marie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sweet though. That's like, I guess because you could fashion.
Yeah.
I was trying to find, there was an app called 3030 that was kind of like that, and you could make it for whatever time you wanted and whatever task you wanted. But then I tried to play the app or use it, and it said that it hadn't been updated by the creator, and then I went to go look for it and I couldn't find it again. So Streaks, I'm gonna just take a little screenshot of that. I'm gonna see if I can find one that you don't have to pay for, and if I can't, then I'll check that one out.
That's the 3030? That's the 3030,
that?
I think. I still have that one.
3030 works.
It's still called 3030.
Oh, what? Mine doesn't.
Maybe you need an iPhone X.
I always get that answer. Marie, your phone's old. Update. I'll update it when I'm ready. Okay. I love you all. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight. And I'm sorry we didn't get any work done, but hopefully that was helpful. It was definitely helpful for me to see that everybody else kind of feels similarly. So that was good. I'm going to put the recording up in the group just in case anybody else needs to hear this message. And I think it's a really good idea for us to keep each other accountable on that. Let's just like post a little thread in the coach page and figure that out, how we want to do that. Cool beans. Let's crush lift 4. Go, Erin. Finish 80-day session tomorrow. We're rooting for you. Woo!
I'll probably cry.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You guys rock. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow in the group / next week on the call. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.